Okay, here we go. We were up to example 4, and it says find the quadratic function y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, whose graph passes through these 3 points. Well, you know this is going to be a parabola. It's a U-shape. There's infinitely many points, but there's 3 things missing: A, B, and C. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but when you had 2 letters, x and y, you had 2 equations with 2 unknowns. When there's 3 unknowns, x, y, z, you need 3 equations. So if I had 4 unknowns, I'd have to have 4 equations. Otherwise, you don't have enough information to find it, okay? So I have A, B, and C are missing. So watch this. We're going to take the first point, and this is x and y. And I'm going to plug it into y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So this is 7 equals a times negative 2 squared plus b times negative 2 plus c. Okay, I'm going to plug in the x and the y, and the things that are missing are a, b, and c, and those are the things we need. And go ahead and go across the page, because then we can tidy this up. And I also want you, where the C is, I want you to put a 1 in front. And there's a method to my madness here, and it'll become apparent in a moment. Then we're going to do this with the other 2 points. If I have 1, negative 2, the y value is negative 2, and the x is a 1. Tidying that up. And again, you'll see why I'm putting these 1s here, because we're going to tie those into matrices. All right, let's do the third point. I have 2, 3, so I have 3 equals a times 2 squared, b times 2 plus c. Tidying that up, that's 3 equals 4a plus 2b plus 1c. In Algebra 2, do you remember matrices? Okay, briefly. Okay, so watch what we're going to do. This is really, really quite cool, and you're going to need a calculator, a graphing calculator. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the coefficients, and it's called the coefficient matrix. And we're going to write 4, negative 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, 2, 1. Then my unknown matrix is the ABC. And then these are the y values. Goodness sakes. Did you finish yours?
No, can't walk calculator, just listen.
Sure, yeah. Okay, so again, to solve a system by matrices, and this really does kind of spoiler alert for 8.1, you take the coefficients, you have an unknown, and then the last matrix is the y values. Now here's the deal. You do need to understand dimensions. This is a 3 by 3 matrix. You do rows by columns. This one's a 3 by 1, and this one's a 3 by 1. So I'm going to call this A. I'm going to call the unknown X, and I'm going to call the Y value matrix B. Okay, so this is AX equals B. In order to solve this matrix equation, the solution is going to be A inverse times B. Okay, so now take out your graphing calculator and let me show you how we do these. They're super, super easy. And really, the only thing I'm going to require is I'm going to need this. I'm going to need this. Whether you put the matrices on the paper or just pop them in the calculator is fine, but as a minimum, I need this right here. Okay, give me that. So watch what we're going to do. down the left column, underneath X inverse, do you see in blue it says matrix? All right, so you're going to press second and matrix. And what we need to do is we need to put the matrices in. So you're going to arrow to edit, arrow to the right, and we're going to put the and see, I did this on purpose because the calculator, this would flow with the calculator. We're going to put it in matrix A. Matrix A is a 3 by 3, so you have to tell the calculator the dimensions. Again, I press second matrix, arrow to edit. On number 1, which is matrix A, press enter, and you have to type 3 by 3. You just press enter. Enter is how it moves, okay? So here we go, and it's going to go across by rows. So you're going to press 4, enter, -2, enter, 1, enter. And it automatically scrolls across the top row, and then it'll go to the second row. So then we need 1, 1, 1. And then we need 4, 2, 1. Please double check at this step that you have in fact entered them correctly, because you can do all the stuff correctly, but you missed a negative sign, and then the problem's wrong. And with this type that it's predominantly done on the calculator, you don't want to make a silly mistake and then get no points, because there's nothing to show. All right, now we're going to press second matrix, arrow to edit, and we're going to go down to B. And that's why it's important that you understand dimensions. The B matrix was a 3 by 1, and you just press 3, enter, 1, enter, and it scrolls across. Then I'm going to do 7, enter, -2, enter, 3, enter. Okay, so you press second matrix, arrow to edit, and put them in. Then when you're done, you press second and quit. That's second in the mode key. And now what we need in order to solve a matrix equation, it is always A inverse times B. Matrix multiplication is not commutative, so you can't say B times A inverse. It'll give you an error. So watch what we're going to do now. Is everybody with me? Okay, press second matrix, and under name, you just press enter. Okay, we're not arrowing to edit, just under name, pull up matrix A, and we need A inverse. So you press the X inverse key. Again, that was second matrix, under A, under name, just press enter, X inverse times, and we're going to pull up matrix B. Second matrix, arrow down to B, and press enter, and enter. And this is amazing. It just, in an instant, solves for A, B, and C. So A is 2, B is -1, and C is -3. So what does that mean? This means I have y equals 2x squared minus x minus 3. There's the solution. So you'll be able to finish this one on the 7.2 homework, and then let's jump to 8.1. And 8.1 is solving by matrices. But tomorrow, I cannot emphasize enough, tomorrow, if it says solve that 3 by 3 algebraically, and you have no work but an answer, you will receive no points. The algebraic way is what you did last night. Okay, bubble 1 plus 2 times bubble 3. I'm trying to see that you can do it by hand if you need to. Yeah.
Yesterday on the homework, there was like twice where I got an answer and then I checked the answers and gave me like, oh crap, and then went back and found out what a mistake. Like, can we use the calculator to get the answers?
Yes. Okay, and that's absolutely fine. If you want to then pop it in with matrices, check your solution, and you go, oh man, I got 1 and it was -1. Go back through, find your mistakes. Okay, and that's absolutely fine.
Wait, how do you use?
We're learning that in a second.
Yeah,
Okay.
here we go. So let's look at.
We use that yesterday.
I know, too bad. I know.
I was like, wait a minute.
I know, sorry.
I'm gonna cry.
I know. In calculus, unfortunately, there's always like this really long, difficult way to do it first, and then we learn these shortcuts, and I'm like, I feel so terrible, but that's. You have to learn like where it comes from, how it works before you can do the shortcuts. All right, so let's look at the 8.1 notes. If I want to do this by matrices, watch what you're going to do. You're going to write 3, 2, 9, -8, Now the unknowns are x and y, and it's 48, negative 24. So this will really take us like 5 minutes to do all three of these. It's very easy. You have to understand again the dimensions for your matrices. So what are the dimensions of the first matrix on the far left?
2.
That's a 2 by 2. How about this one? 2 by 1 in the answer matrix, 2 by 1. So here we go. You guys ready? Go to the calculator, and we're going to do second matrix, arrow to edit. Again, second matrix, arrow to edit. Now on A, we've got to change the dimensions. It's a 2 by 2. So A, matrix A is always going to be the coefficient matrix. So this will be 3, 2, 9, negative 8. And you press enter to keep moving through. Then second matrix, arrow to edit, down to B, press enter. It's a 2 by 1. 48, negative 24. Now watch this technique, okay? And I think most of you know this, but just in case you don't, I can press second and enter, and it pulls up the previous line, so you don't need to retype A inverse times B. So my solution is 8, 12. Okay, that means it's x is 8, y is 12. All right, any questions on that one? So pretty easy. All right, I'm going to set number 2 up just to make sure. Be careful with the signs that you do have your positives, positives, and your negatives, negatives. Then it's just, punching buttons on the calculator. So go ahead and do it, and then go ahead and do 3. All right, on this one, on example 2, I got -1, 2, -3. Did you get that? All right. In the third one, for those of you that are finished with it already, I got 1, 4, -3.